Doug, we'll talk a little bit later on about the state of the business, but one of the reasons we wanted to have you come on today is regarding an encounter you had last weekend on a Southwest Airlines flight with a black flight attendant, Jackie Ray Hill. I don't want to give the whole story away. We'd love for you to, in your own words, to tell us about this encounter, because I think it's one of these stories that I think a lot of people can learn from.
Sure. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for having me. So last week I found myself needing to get to Panama City, Florida for family purposes. By the time I decided I was going, American Airlines flights were actually sold out, or sold to our capacity that we're selling these days. So I bought a ticket on Southwest, flying anonymously with a mask on, and sitting toward the back. I'd brought a book on board to read, particularly given the events of today, that a board member had recommended to me, called White Fragility. It's a challenging book about how race in America and white people in particular have trouble talking about race, and even those of us that think we're progressive can be a lot of the problem. So anyway, I had brought that on to read, and the flight attendant I walked in, I guess, saw me carrying it, unbeknownst to me, and with about a little bit of time left in the flight, she came. She was working up toward the front of the aircraft. She came back to the back, sat down in the aisle where I was in the window, and asked me about the book, and said she saw me bring it on and just wanted to talk to me about it. Said she'd been going through, struggling with this as an individual. I started to talk to her about it. Said, anyway, as best I could, that look, this is what the book talks about is that we need to have these conversations. And then she started to cry. And anyway, I did my best to receive what was really a gift to me. She's the one who started the conversation, not me. I was sitting back there happily sending emails to my team, frankly, not even reading the book. She started the conversation, is a gift to me, and I was happy to be there to receive it. She put it on her Facebook page, and I ended up sending a note to my team about it, all of which has now gotten public, and it's gotten to be what was a private conversation is now largely a public one. And look, that to me is for we CEOs the lesson. The only reason this private conversation is public is because of what I do, and that I have a voice, and those of us that are privileged with leadership have, I believe, a responsibility to use that privilege, that gift, to break down barriers for those that are less privileged, and that's what Jack Ray taught me.
Sure.
That's what I'm gonna keep working to try to do.
Doug, without divulging all the conversation there, why is it so hard for so many people, blacks and whites, really all races, to talk about this and this conversation that you had? Were you struck and you were in the middle of the conversation saying, this is exactly what needs to take place?
Yeah, look, I'm not the expert on this. I am learning. What I know is that conversation was profound for me. It is exactly what we need. I wish I was better at starting the conversation. I'm going to work to get better at that. I think that's what we need to do. Starting the conversation is important, and one that we need to have. That's much of the problem. It's not the entire problem, and clearly conversations themselves aren't the answer. But getting to the answers requires starting the conversations, and real conversations about how people are feeling. The other thing that's come out of this for me is a number of emails and conversations that I've had as a result of this have been eye-opening. Again, we haven't shied from this, I don't think. I didn't think I was a person that shied from these conversations. But if you don't start them, and if you don't have the courage to start them, they stay in the background. And when you do start them, it makes a huge difference. These are conversations that need to be had.